Hello friends, I'm Pastor Oleg, Unsealing the Seven Thunders of Revelation 10. Today we will reflect on one of the greatest recognized mysteries of the book of Revelation, the story of the seven trumpets. The story of the seven trumpets is an untold, or rather sealed story, but should it remain sealed all the way till Jesus comes? Is it to remain uninformative, or there is a power in this message of the seven thunders, edifying and empowering us? Those seven thunders have done something to me. Maybe they will do something to you, other than inflicting the fear. The voice of the seven thunders might mightily empower you. Let us remember what happened to Saul when he was on the road to Damascus. After that experience, he turned into Paul, and he heard the voice of God at that time, while other people would only hear to the voices of thunders. Acts chapter 9 says, as he journeyed, he came close to Damascus, and the light came shining from heaven. Then he fell to the ground and heard the voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And the men who journeyed, they stood speechless, hearing the voice, but seeing no one. That's the voice of the thunders that they've heard. This is exactly what is happening now. At the time of the end, the seven thunders utter their voices loud enough for the whole world to hear, yet the message is so quiet and still that only few could understand the words of God in those thunders. In Revelation 10 we read, I saw still another mighty angel coming down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was on his head. His face was like a sun, and his feet like the pillars of fire. He had a little book opened in his hand, and he said, and he stood his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land, and cried with a loud voice, as would the lion roar. And he cried out, seven thunders uttered their voices. Now, as the seven thunders uttered their voices, I was about to write, but I heard a voice from heaven saying to me, seal up the things that the seven thunders uttered and do not write them up. This mighty angel, I think, is the same as the one we read about in chapter 7, the one with the seal of God. John is instructed here not to write the message that the seven thunders uttered, yet he's been instructed to seal them up. What does it mean? It means that the message of the thunders has been sealed, not lost. It means that those who have an ear to hear could hear them when the time comes. But what is the message of the seven thunders? Where is it hidden, sealed? Is it in heaven or somewhere on earth? It is sealed right there, right in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, in the same message that John received from Jesus Christ. Now, is it possible, is it important for us to hear the message behind the voices of the thunders? I think it is not only possible, but quite crucial for us to hear and to understand the messages that have been sealed until a certain time, until the time of the thunder. How many of you believe, by the way, that we already hear the voice of the thunder? How many of you believe that COVID-19 pandemic is the thunder? Has ever in the history of mankind been an event that would simultaneously be heard about and affecting the whole world? This is the first time in history when it is happening. Such a universal awareness on behalf of entire humankind. The sound of the light hooves of this white horseman sounds like a thunder resonates as a thunder around the world. This horseman brought quite a thunder. And if you are sensible to the signs of times, you would certainly search for the answers in the Bible. This is what the Adventist pioneers have been doing. They would be looking at the great events happening in the world with the great prophetic answers. Are we to remain now with the rest of the world unaware about the message behind those universal thunders that would be heard and are heard already? Are they sealed for all time and for all men? No, they are only sealed until the seals are broken. The angel that I saw standing on the sea and on the land raised up his hand and swore by him who lives forever and ever that there should be delay no longer, but in the days of the sound of the seventh angel, when he is about to sound, the mystery of God will be finished as he revealed for his servants the prophets. Here comes a time of the end, which we already entered. This time has arrived already. And now, with the arrival of the first thunder of the first speedy horseman of Revelation, it is very loud. So what is the message behind those thunders? What are the words behind all this noise? Can we hear them? Where do we find them? Where do we even look for them? We don't have to look very far. They are sealed right there in the messages of the seven seals. It is so easy, friends, and the only reason we didn't see it before, it was before the seals were not opened. We can only get to understand it as the seals, as the last eschatological seals get open. As they do get open, we can read the message behind the seal. Shall we? And I looked, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he went out conquering and to conquer. So what is the message here? It's very simple. So far, we have been reading the seven seals of the historical revelation as the historical events that took place over the period of time for about 2,000 years, which is obvious and undeniable truth. But as we come to the time of the end and the voices of the thunder stand to roar, the seal that was binding it, the first thunder and its message was broken, and we hear the seven thunders would roar. And they precede the seven plagues to wake up the humankind. This is where the voices of the thunders are hidden, are sealed. That's where they were all this time, in the seals, as we read them eschatologically. But now, as the first seal has been broken, we are not to remain in ignorance about the thunders and about what is going on in the world. The loud thunder speaks to all. But if the trumpet makes an uncertain sound, how can the people prepare for the war, for what is coming? Let us listen more carefully now to the voices of those thunders. And as we whisper the message of the seal to the world at this time, our message will be magnified by the mighty voices of the accompanying thunders. You see, God provides both the heavenly speakers and the heavenly electricity, the heavenly power to the microphone that has been installed right by your lips. And if you turn on this microphone, and if you will whisper into it as I'm doing it right now, if you whisper the right message for the right time, this message will be heard, and it will be greatly amplified. And many people, all those who listen to me now, who read and study of the book of Revelation, will hear clearly and will understand the message that has been so loud and yet so subtle. But what do we do to turn on our microphones? And what do we say into those powerful microphones? What are the lines? What are the messages that we are to share, that the Lord wants us to deliver once we are connected to the heavenly amplifier? Is it just every message? Everything good that you say? No, it's not. There is a certain message for a certain season, otherwise it won't be heard, it won't be amplified loud enough. But first, let's look how to turn on our mics. There is a button there, and it says number 1. Press number 1 as you look at the seals, as the stream of eschatological events, of the events of eschatological proportion that are meant to prepare the world for the time of trouble before the second coming of the Lord. Consider your mic is on, and consider that those people who listen will hear you. And some will hear just the thunder, and that they will make sure that you would hear the thunderous voices thundering against you. That's expected, that's normal, that's all right. But let us, as we have our mics now on, turn to the message that we have to share with the world, so that the loud noise of the thunders we turn into the message. God takes a responsibility for what is going on. He has it under his control, and he wants the whole world at this time to hear and to consider these familiar to us words. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having an everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth and sea and springs of water. This is the message of the first angel. As the first seal got open, this is a special time. If we have our microphones on, the message of the first angel will be heard for sure. This time, it will be. I know that we've been proclaiming this three angels message for a long, long time. I've been preaching this message, the three angels message, from my preaching and publications for 32 years. I've been ahead of time. We've been ahead of time. The Lord has been prepared in us for this time. We had a limited success. We had our light on. We had us available. We had things changing around us. Mercy drops around us are falling. But now it is time for a change. Now you are connected to a heavenly amplifier. This time those around you will hear you loud and clear, and they will listen to you. This time is the right time to amplify the message. The message, fear God. When the world is full of other kind of fears, this message will be heard with unparalleled power. Ellen G. White speaks about the times that are coming, and let us read those blessed words from the Great Controversy, chapter 38.
Luther, Tyndale, Baxter, Wesley urged that all the doctrines be brought to the test of the Bible, and declared that they would renounce everything which it condemned. Against these men persecution raged with relentless fury, yet they ceased not to declare the truth. Different periods in the history of the Church have each been marked by the development of some special truth, adapted to the necessities of God's people at that time. Every new truth has made its way against hatred and opposition. Those who were blessed with its light were tempted and tried. The angel who unites in the proclamation of the third angel's message is to lighten the whole earth with his glory. A work of worldwide extent, an unwanted power is here foretold. The Advent movement of 1840 to 44 was a glorious manifestation of the power of God. The first angel's message was carried to every missionary station in the world, and in some countries there was the greatest religious interest which has been witnessed in any land since the Reformation of the 16th century. But these are to be exceeded by the mighty movement under the last warning of the third angel. The work will be similar to that of the day of Pentecost. As the former rain was given in the outpouring of the Holy Spirit at the opening of the gospel, to cause the upspringing of the precious seed, so the latter rain will be given at its close for the ripening of the harvest. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord. His going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth. Hosea 6:3. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain. Joel 2:23.
Notice, friends, that Sister White is saying here that the message of the first angel has already been proclaimed. The first angel's message has been carried to the missionary stations of the world, and yet she is saying that there will be a repeat, and the most powerful repeat of this message. The great work of the gospel is not close with a less manifestation of the power of God that marked its opening. And then Sister White continues, servants of God, with their faces lighted up and shining with holy consecration, will fasten from place to place to proclaim the message of heaven. By thousands of voices all over the earth, the warning will be given. Miracles will be wrought. The sick will be healed. And signs and wonders will follow the believers. Satan also works with lying wonders, even bringing down fire from heaven at the sight of man, Revelation 13:13. Thus the inhabitants of the earth will be brought to take their stand. I believe these words, do you? As you speak of it, please don't forget to turn on your microphone. As you read about the angel with a loud voice proclaiming the three angels' message, he serves as a megaphone. Yes, the verse here uses this very word, speaking with a loud voice, megaphone, loudspeaker. He serves as a loudspeaker, but remember of the number of the angel. Remember to press the button 1 as you're proclaiming the first angel's message. By pressing the button 1, you will gain the power that connects you to the heavenly amplifier. That power connects your simple microphone to the powerful angelic agencies. In one of my next sermons, I want to share with you, friends, how are the messages of the 7 thunders of Revelation relevant to us, and what are those messages. And we will talk about Revelation 14, about the 7 angels of Revelation 14. We usually mindful of only 3 of them, but there are 7 of them, and they give us amazing warnings that are needed for us, so that our voices, our messages could be megaphoned, heavily, strongly amplified by the heavenly agencies as we associate ourselves with the right message given at the right time. May the Lord bless you. Amen.
going forth with weeping, sowing for the Master. Though the loss sustained, our spirit often grieves. When our weeping's over, He will bid us welcome. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves.